She brings in over 26 years of rich experience of steering and managing a diverse portfolio of software products and solutions.
I came back to the corporate world as a senior engineering manager in Nokia, active listening and acknowledging that change is indeed difficult. Change is difficult for all of us. An incredible journey working with multiple geographies through my career.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Sunny Banchuri, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime with Leaders interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulas for many. And this is what we aim for with these sessions, by making them a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry stalwart on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Ms Suprabha Mysore. She brings in over 26 years of rich experience of steering and managing a diverse portfolio of software products and solutions. In her current capacity, she holds the position of Vice President of Software Development at TransUnion. She leads global teams across multiple locations in India and the US, focusing on solution enablement for the OneTru platform. Her responsibilities include advanced analytics, machine learning as a service, and delivering software platform solutions to US and India core credit markets. Welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, Ms. Suprabha.
Thank you for having me over, Sunny. Really appreciate it.
So to begin with, could you provide a brief overview of your professional journey and key milestones over the past 26 years?
Sure. I started my career in the tech industry in 1997, soon after my graduation in computer science and engineering from Bangalore University. I started in a small startup working on network management. I then moved on to work for Cisco routers and switches. I then joined Nokia, and in an interesting turn of events, I started with mobile handsets and software development for mobile handsets. I became an engineering manager leading a team for the first time in Nokia. After a 3-year stint in Nokia, the entrepreneurship bug bit me, and I floated a company of my own with a business partner and a mentor. I pitched the idea with multiple angel investors, looked for funding for the idea. The startup ecosystem in India was not as mature back then as it is today. We could not get any funding, and I had to get back to the corporate world. However, it was a very enriching experience for me, and through the entrepreneurship experience, I really learned the different aspects of running a business. I came back to the corporate world as a senior engineering manager in Nokia. And through that journey, I also started my course in Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. I did the Executive General Management program with IIMB. And Nokia decided to really discontinue their mobile phone business. Fortunately, I got an opportunity working in the capacity of techno manager techno marketeer in Intel at the same time that I was doing my course in IIMB. The techno marketing role was an APAC-wide role, and I signed up multiple partners in Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Hong Kong, and even India. And and also became part of, signing a multi-million-dollar MOU with Chinese partners too. As part of this role, I have even delivered keynote sessions for industry-wide events in India and the APAC region. And I did this I was in Intel for about 6.5 years. Then I made a transition to a startup called CloudGenix. So from an ocean that Intel was, I came to a very small setup of CloudGenix, leading the engineering team here in India. I built the team ground up, established the engineering operations here. And then I continued with CloudGenix delivering towards the SD-WAN solution, even after it got acquired by Palo Alto Networks. I moved to F5 from Palo Alto, taking up higher responsibilities towards cloud transformation. And even today, the cloud transformation journey continues for me here at TransUnion. Right now, I'm the Vice President of Software Development in TransUnion, working out of Bangalore. And I'm really excited about the transformation journey that we are going through. And I'm happy to be part of that journey.
Thank you for the excellent start to this interview, Ms. Suprabha. All right, so continuing our conversation, could you share the most challenging project you have spearheaded successfully?
Sure. In the long journey that I had in the tech industry, there are multiple challenges and challenging projects that I have really worked on and led. Some of them were challenging from a technology standpoint. Some were challenging from a stakeholder management standpoint, and some were a test to my leadership abilities. Let me just quote a few examples. Where back in my Nokia days, I was working in a technology called near field communication. It's a very short range technology that works at a distance of 5 to 10 centimeters. And you must have seen NFC in some of your mobile phones. And it is used to transfer data between two mobile phones that are at the proximity of, like I said, 5 to 10 centimeters or a few centimeters. My team was responsible for integrating the hardware, do the software development for NFC. After we were done with the software development, the real challenge was how do we test the precision of the distance that the technology provides. It is impossible to test such small distances manually. And therefore, I was exploring different ways of how do we go about testing it. I had multiple discussions. And in one of my discussions with my counterpart in Germany, I figured out that they had a robot which could work in the precision of few millimeters. I had conversations with him, negotiations with my counterpart, and managed to get the robot shifted to Bangalore. I even trained one of my engineers to program the robot, and we finally solved the technical problem of testing near field communication. To quote another example, with my role at Intel, I used to deal with software partners on one side, all the software partners in the APAC region, and the OEM partners like Dell, Lenovo, Asus on the other side. My job was to get some of the Intel optimized applications and software pre-bundled into some of the OEM devices. I was working with a lot of external stakeholders on the software side of things, a lot of external stakeholders on the hardware or the OEM side of things, and a lot of internal stakeholders too. So to be able to achieve pre-bundling of some of the software and applications, it involved a lot of negotiations. And sometimes it was also a lot of perseverance on my part to really make it happen. It was a very good learning experience personally for me. And I really learned the art of negotiation through that experience. Another recent or current example that I have to quote, which is really challenging from a leadership standpoint, is the transformation journey that I have been part of, both at F5 and at TransUnion. Cloud transformation is something that I am leading. I'm really excited about the transformation. I'm excited about what cloud computing brings into the technology industry as a whole. However, there are multitude of challenges, starting with the meticulous software architecture that is required for cloud computing, to changing the mindset of people, especially of those who come from the heritage teams, for the new ways of working and the new ways of developing software. One thing that has really helped me in breaking down some of the barriers with my team and changing the mindset is active listening and acknowledging that change is indeed difficult. Change is difficult for all of us. But as a leader, when I acknowledge that the team, it is difficult for the team to go through the changes that we are going through, it really helps me get closer to the team and also break the barriers between leadership and the engineers in the team. Another thing that has really helped is providing clear vision to the team through constant communication about how cloud eventually is really beneficial for business and also to us as individuals. It's a really good thing if, as a software engineer, I know cloud computing. So highlighting these benefits constantly has really helped in people adapting to new ways of working. So these are a few examples of some of the challenges that I have come across and worked around.
And that sounds incredible, Ms. Suprabha. All right. So, okay, moving ahead, could you share your experience in transitioning and managing teams in different countries such as India, the US, and Israel?
Yeah, it has been an incredible journey working with multiple geographies through my career. Typically, in the corporate world, every company has its pillars of culture, and these pillars of cultures or these pillars of culture really get influenced by the top leadership of the organization. The cultural fabric defines the common values for all the employees, and that is something that even binds all of us together across the globe. Despite the common cultural elements of an organization, there is significant influence of the local culture and the local value system on each one of us as individuals. In my experience with working with this US team, everyone in US is fairly independent. Individual autonomy holds really high importance out there. When I'm managing US teams, I give them high-level vision and high-level guidance on what they should be working on. My leaders in US, they come back to me with a good plan of how and when they will get the software done, and with the details of what every member in the team is going to own as part of the software development plan. They're also very proactive in calling out challenges, and wherever there is intervention required from my end, they call it out. And that is when I know I need to intervene and provide the support that is required for the program. Israel, it's a slightly different story. The objectives of a project are looked at as team goals. They're collective goals for the team. The leader comes up with collective, yet a very, very meticulous plan for the project execution. They're very systematic in their approach towards software development. They document everything starting from product requirements to design to different steps of execution of the project. Everything is very well documented by the Israel team. And my discussions with them are also very, very detail oriented. So we get into all the details of how the execution is going to happen, what are the different elements of the software design, what are the different tools that are going to be used in the development of the software, and so on. They bring up the challenges only when I have my regular interactions with them that I have set up at a regular cadence. And they specifically call out what is the action item for me. And as a leader, I need to take care of those action items. With India teams, even in India, the culture is more of collective objectives and collective goals for the team. Though the leader of the team would not have a very detailed plan upfront, it is amazing to see how everybody comes together to make the project happen on time and with good quality. Through my interactions, I need to understand what are the challenges that the teams in India are facing, and I have to provide them a plan on these are the things or these are the actions I will take to alleviate some of the challenges for you. So it has to be proactive from my end in case of India team. Another aspect that I have learned over the years is the way I need to communicate with these teams is going to be is very different. With Israel, it's kind of brutally honest, irrespective of whether I'm delivering good news or bad news. I need to be extremely honest and brutally honest. With US, it is straightforward communication. With India, especially if I'm delivering some hard message or bad news, I really need to soften the blow. I see people are a lot more emotional here than in the other countries. So working with these different teams and geographies and the leaders in these different teams in these geographies like US, Israel, and even Finland, it has been a fascinating journey for me. And the cultural nuances of these different places have shaped the way I lead and interact with the different teams.
Amazing, amazing, Ms. Suprabha. So that now that we have discussed your career journey, your professional pursuits, roles, and responsibilities, right, let's dive into the subject of ESG and corporate governance. So here is my question to you. How and when did you realize that your technical background is apt for upskilling with ESG and corporate governance?
In the years that I have spent in the tech industry, I have really worked in different roles, right? I started as a software development engineer, transitioned into a manager, a leader, and I've also done different things like product management, program management, techno marketing. Each of these roles have given me a good perspective of the corporate world, and I have seen different companies from the inside and have experienced different facets of the business from within the company. I was intrigued by how external stakeholders view the business of the company. With each of those quarterly business results, is the company perceived? How is the business perceived by external stakeholders? How is it perceived by shareholders? How is it perceived by board of directors? How the vision of a company shapes the investor relations. These are some of the questions that I was really curious about. And I also got to experience some of these from close quarters when I was part of the startup. After the 2.5 decades in the corporate world, after more than 2.5 decades in the corporate world, I thought it was the right time for me to expand my horizon by adding a flavor of corporate governance and ESG to my knowledge base. These aspects really give me a 360-degree view of running a business and a holistic view of what it takes to run a company. And that is why I started out with that journey.
All right. So as an ESG and corporate governance expert, what values do you bring to the table?
Close to 27 years of industry experience, coupled with the knowledge of corporate governance and ESG, I think I'm now well placed to play a role of a non-executive director of a company. My core skill is, of course, technology. Technology is all pervasive these days, and it's also a basic enabler for multiple kinds of businesses. It could be healthcare, hospitality, education, entertainment, manufacturing, finance. Take any market space today, technology is the basic enabler. Even in my career graph, you will find that I have enabled, automated, and brought about technological advancement to customers who are retail companies, banks, network operators, hotel chains, and the list goes on. Given the kind of exposure I have had, I can bring in value by providing strategic direction to the technology vision of the company. the leadership roles that I have held has made me a mentor and a coach. I would like to expand my mentoring and coaching to executives of a company and address, or rather help them address market opportunities and even combat some of the technology risks that exist today. I have arbitrated negotiations across different business partners, and my negotiation skills also come handy if I have to be the person drawing the middle ground between shareholders and the company management in case there are conflicts that are arising. Personally, I uphold the value of integrity in everything that I do. It's of utmost importance to me. It's part of my DNA. I believe I can enhance the corporate credibility of a company by always ensuring consistency of action and words. To sum it up, I'm all geared up to be a liaison between shareholders of the company, stakeholders of the company, and the management team.
Incredible. Sounds incredible. All right. So, Ms. Suprabha, as someone working closely with technology, what changes do you expect to see in any field or the corporate world with the advent of IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, digital twins, big data, and Web 3.0?
Each of these technologies that you have mentioned can be a topic of very detailed, elaborate discussion. I will just probably touch upon the latest and the hottest one, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning. From a technology standpoint, AI has been around since 1950s. This is for the technology world, AI is not something that is very new. Alan Turing had written the first white paper for AI in 1950. In 1977, IBM had a machine which was called Deep Blue, which was based on AI. And this machine defeated Grandmaster Garry Kasparov in a chess tournament. AI-based robotic arms, AI-based manufacturing bots, all these have been around since the 70s and the 80s. And from my own experience, back in 2002, I was working on a predicate logic-based AI system for self-correcting networks. The evolution and adoption of AI has been happening for a few decades now. With OpenAI and ChatGPT, AI has proliferated into processing queries to produce relevant content, audio, images, and different kinds of digital. About 55% of the organizations have already adopted AI to a varying degree for business automation. Some with chatbots, some with digital assistants, and some with pure automation of all their business processes. In the recent years, a company like NVIDIA has accelerated the evolution of AI chip and the semiconductor and the SoC associated with AI, which has given the push even to the data models and the software algorithms that has resulted in AI reaching the hands of one and all. So ChatGPT, I'm sure, is a very popular tool for not just people in the technology business, but for everybody around the world today. What does AI hold in store for us in the future? Take the example of creative industry. Generative AI can assist in creating art, music, and even literature. Take content generation, journalism and marketing is going to take a new shape because generative AI can automate content creation. Healthcare, AI-driven models can really analyze medical data, assist in diagnosis, and predict even outcomes. The list of what generative AI can do in different fields is going to be pretty big. Education, scientific research, natural language processing, business operations are all going to benefit a lot with generative AI. However, what we also need to understand is each of these businesses, each of these institutions that are going to adopt generative AI as part of their automation and business processes have to exercise enough caution. What are the things that the businesses have to be cautious about? Is the privacy concerns, data privacy concerns. How are we going to deal with biases that are brought in by generative AI? And what are we going to do about job displacement risks and also unethical use of AI content? There are multiple debates that are happening right now on what should be the regulations around AI, especially generative AI. And those will evolve as and when we learn more about what corporates can do with the AI technology. I personally am in favor of adoption of ethical AI to maximize automation and content creation. The concerns of data privacy will get addressed over a period of time, and with the advent of good security systems, good security software systems, some of those concerns will also get addressed. The job market concern, I think the landscape of job market will change, but human intervention will not really completely go away. In total, I believe that AI is here to stay. We will make good use of AI in the coming days, and AI will improve human lives the way internet and mobile phones have.
Rightly said, Ms. Suprabha. And thank you for sharing such amazing insights into different subjects. So this brings us to the last question of the session, and here it is. We are building a community of industry magnates. The move is meant for cross-pollination of knowledge and building a knowledge-sharing community of corporate giants and industry experts. So what are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by Mr. Zishan Pathan, Mr. Heval Mehta, and the team of World Development Corporation?
It's a great initiative by Mr. Zishan Pathan and Heval Mehta, of course, working with the World Development Corporation to have set up this forum for industry leaders to come together and exchange notes on their experiences, accomplishments, and even challenges. Quoting an old adage, while it's wise to learn from experience, it is wiser to learn from the experience of others. The platform that Mr. Zishan Pathan and Heval Mehta have set up for this interaction has created a wonderful forum for all of us to discuss our experiences and share the knowledge with each other. I'm really thankful to them for this great initiative. Thank you so much.
Great, Ms. Suprabha. It was fantastic conversing with you, and I'm confident that your insights will inspire future leaders. Thank you for joining us today, and we wish you the best for your future endeavors. Moreover, trust that this initiative by DirectorsInstitute has unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their minds.
Thank you so much, Sunny. I really enjoyed the conversation and the discussion I had in this forum and the discussion that I had with you. Thank you so much.
Likewise, and thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You too.